When it's all said and done, only hurt people hurt people. That said, let's try to have empathy and compassion for the people that abuse us, the people that we find ourselves in toxic relationships with. The first step, obviously, is to remove yourself from an abusive situation. If it threatens your life, if you feel unsafe, if you've physically been harmed, the first thing, if you can, is to just remove yourself from the perpetrator. And once you walk away, once you overcome being in a relationship with a narcissist, with an abuser, with a toxic person, your first step to healing is trying to forgive them. And you don't forgive them for their benefit, you do it for your own healing. One thing that helps with forgiving someone that has hurt you so brutally and so painfully is to just have compassion for them. And I like to define compassion as putting myself in the other person's shoes, to try and understand what could have possibly led them to treat me the way they did or act or behave in the way that they did. From compassion, you start to have empathy, where you realize that just like everybody else, the toxic partner, the abuser, is honestly just doing the best that they can with what they have. And if anything, they need help. The worse the experience, the worse extent to which it shows you how much in need of help this person is. So you fighting with them, you smearing them, their name, or doing all kinds of negative things in response to the abuse doesn't really help them. But just stepping away and trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes, trying to understand, determines how you respond to toxic and abusive partners. This, of course, after you've removed yourself from any possibly threatening situation, you take the time to heal, take the time to forgive, take the time to let go, take the time to understand. It's important that you understand and you make peace with the toxic partner and the toxic or abusive relationship, especially after the breakup. Sometimes it's not possible to make peace with the person in the physical realm because in most instances they won't talk to you. They are probably bad-mouthing you, you're speaking ill of you, or trying to make everyone feel like you are the monster, you are the crazy one. But it is possible to connect with them on a spiritual level. It is possible to connect with their highest self, which knows better, to make peace. And once you forgive and make peace with the perpetrator, then your healing journey begins, where you acknowledge your part in the abuse, you acknowledge your part in the toxicity. What's even more important than taking responsibility for how we manifest these toxic and abusive relationships is learning the lesson that this relationship was meant to teach you. You need to understand that the people that we meet in our lives, the relationships we have, and the experiences we go through are there to teach, to illuminate, or to mirror. If the perpetrator was not mirroring you, and if they did not bring any kind of illumination into your life, then they were definitely there to teach you something. And unless you learn the lesson, you keep repeating the cycle. You keep finding yourself in these abusive and toxic relationships over and over again, where you meet new people, looks promising, seems incredible, until you realize that you are with the exact same person. They just look and sound different. So only way to stop manifesting and attracting these toxic partners, these abusive partners, is to understand the lesson that the universe, your highest self, your soul is trying to teach you through these relationships. Once the lesson is learned, then there's no need for the experience to keep repeating itself. Do due diligence where your healing is concerned. Show up for you, self-introspect until you get to self-actualization. Understand your part in the relationship. Forgive yourself for your part. Accept the mistakes that you made. Come to terms with the loss of the love that you wished you had, that you wished could have been. Forgive the other person. Try to put yourself in their shoes. Try to understand what could possibly cause them to be the way that they are. And after that, release them in peace and gratitude. And trust that in due timing, once you've gone through your healing, you will attract that partner. And take time to just find your way back to yourself. Forget about dating for a while. Forget about trying to make it work with anyone. Forget about trying to be in a relationship with anyone. And just try to focus on finding your way back to you. Remembering your authentic self, who you were before this abuse, before this toxicity. Because if you're in it long enough, it definitely starts to change you. You take on characteristics and behaviors that are not authentic to your true self. So find your way back to you. Take time to heal. Take time to remember who you are. Take time to come back to who you are. And focus on the things that matter most. If you have kids, focus on your kids. If you have a business, a passion, something that's any reason for you to wake up in the morning, focus on that and allow your healing to unfold as it will, trusting that it will unfold by grace in a perfect way on a calm sea. Nithandwa ndim, guys.